Well, I guess we can take this sign off. This sign's been here for a while because this permeable driveway just got installed, and it took a while to get this in. So landscape renovation is now done. It's no longer in progress. It's Mike with Enviroscape LA. So I wanted to do this YouTube video just to show you some ideas on how landscaping is done right. No, this looks amazing. It's going to look more amazing in another next spring. It's going to all grow in and just be tons of color, but it's really drought tolerant too. Aside from the plant choices, which were either native or California friendly, which means they're drought tolerant, there's some things that we did that were amazingly good here. For example, we actually have drip irrigation. It's the Rainbird Copper Shield Drip, which is the world's best drip irrigation that you want to use because it has a little strip of copper every 12 inches, which prevents root intrusion. We had some leftover stone from some waterfalls, so instead of throwing it away, we put it in here. It's kind of nice. It kind of blends in with the color of the house. Arbutus marina, my favorite tree in the world because it has this beautiful red bark, but more importantly, it actually helps to feed the pollinators. We've got some ruby grass right here. That's a California native right there. That's a ceanothus, but it's it's a ground hugger, and it has this really beautiful variegation to it. And I could go on more about the plants, but let's take a look at this right here. These are the lights. This is called the FX Luminaire. These actually are lights that go down, so they're called path lights. And then we have uplights right there. They'll uplight the tree. What's special about these lights is that you can download an app and actually have you can actually dim the lights if you want. You can dim them down to like 1% or 100%. So it's a great technology. There's also the mulch that we put down. Very, very important to put mulch in every job, at least 3 inches, because that has a symbiotic relationship with the bugs in the soil, so that you partner with nature rather than partnering with chemicals. Don't fight Mother Nature, you'll never win. So partner with her. So over on the other side of the garage there's the same thing. We're bringing in the pollinators with those Cape honeysuckles. And then check this out over here. This is a shade garden. The hard part about plants is that they're all varied and they all have different needs. One of the things about plants, though, is that almost universally, plants need sun to photosynthesize. Well, in this case, these plants, this little tiny bit of sun here, 5 minutes a day, that's the only sun it's going to get its entire life. I mean, every day, probably 5 minutes or so. So in that case, these plants are special plants. This is a clivia. If you want a shade plant that's extremely drought tolerant, that's what you want to use for your landscape. Clivia, and then here's a asparagus fern. So there's a few plants that you can put that don't need a lot of sun. They grow with ambient light. So those are some of the tips and ideas of what to do if you're going to do a native garden or a California friendly garden. Mike with Enviroscape LA signing off. When you think sustainability, think Enviroscape LA.